DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Hi out there, this is Brian Cummings, and you're listening to DuckTalks. Oh, shut up.
It's the week of Thursday, June the 13th, and you're listening to episode 70 of DuckTalks. Back on the mic. It's been a while, Pirate.
It has. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Trying to get back in the swing of things. I think you're probably in the same boat or just got off a boat or something.
Yeah, we both hit the beach this past week.
Man, it was nice just taking a break from everything. Still following Duck News, of course, and participating in everything. But, man, it was nice just to get away, kick my feet up, lay around in the sand, get tossed by some waves. It was a good time.
Always. Yeah, there's so much Duck News, even though the show has had a few weeks off.
There's a lot going on, not specifically around the DuckTales reboot, the current show, but a lot going on with things around that we still consider connected, and the community the community also looks at it as connected. So we're going to cover it and we'll talk about it. Hey, if you're new to the show, if this is the first time you're listening, thanks for checking us out. This is DuckTalks, and we typically talk about the new DuckTales series. We also were huge fans of the Disney Afternoon and all of the good Disney products and merchandise and shows and music, video games that have come out of that kind of little section of Disney. We're fans of that. That's what we get together and we talk about. We're going to be talking about it tonight, so thanks for joining us. And if this is not your first time, thanks for coming back. And, of course, we would love for you to take an opportunity and either give us a rating or a review at your favorite podcatcher.
Yeah, I love when new listeners find us, because they'd be like, "Is it DuckTales podcast?" And then they immediately subscribe, and I think it's fun.
Yeah, I love seeing that online, and then also when we get an email or a communication online from someone for the first time. We've never heard from them. That's always fun because, at this point, we have a lot of people who talk with us just about every day. We've got some strong online friendships that have come from this.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there like us. We started this podcast because we couldn't keep all this excitement about DuckTales and the Disney Afternoon inside. We had to spread the word, and it's great to find other people out there that believe all the same stuff we do.
Speaking of which, we actually have an email we were going to read this week. We get emails from listeners, and it's a lot of fun, and sometimes we come across one that we would like to read. So this was from not necessarily a new listener, but someone who reached out to us for the first time, and I'm going to read it. Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm a sophomore in high school who just awkwardly loves DuckTales. I've only listened to a couple of episodes of your podcast so far, but the ones I've listened to have been very good. I hope in these next few episodes, in September I guess, Gyro gets some character development as he is one of my favorites. And the Time Machine opens up a lot of interesting topics. They could mess around with timelines and such. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, which is pretty much why I started watching this. David Tennant. I assume now that Della is back, Launchpad will probably go to team up with Darkwing. At least I hope so. Thanks for providing the content. That was from Nick. Nick, thanks for the email. And Gyro is one of my favorite parts of the show as well. And we know Frank has said, I think over on Tumblr, Frank Angonez, co-producer of the show. Got to throw that in there so we know who we're talking about. But Frank has said that Gyro will have a character arc. So I don't know if that's this season or next season, but I definitely think we're going to get some development for Gyro.
Yeah, I definitely like this version of Gyro compared to the one from 1987 version. What do you think?
I know a lot of people really love the 87 version. He was really sweet, and his he was funny because things just kind of always went wrong with whatever he was working on, even though he was also a competent builder at times. I really, really love this rebooted version. I've said this a few times online. I've never had anyone challenge me to this. I think Gyro is my favorite change in the series. I love his sense of humor, his dry. I don't really know if it's even a sense of humor, just how he's so dry and sarcastic about everything.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Jim Rash is you can hear the sarcasm in every word he says as Gyro. And Nick brought up that other good point about Launchpad maybe leaving the DuckTales environment and going towards a Darkwing Duck show if that ever comes to be.
Yeah, I think having Della back does open up that possibility, because now we have a capable pilot, maybe a more capable pilot we've not seen yet. But I think it's possible, and I'm really expecting a lot from this Darkwing Duck. I've said it. I think I said it on the last podcast that we did. I've said it online. That episode felt like a soft pilot.
Yeah, you keep saying it, Mitch. I'm keeping track. Yeah, I've watched that episode 75 times, and my 76th time I was actually in a parking lot. So I'm trying to keep up with Launchpad. But yeah, Launchpad, I'm fine with if he left DuckTales and went to Darkwing, because I've always said my favorite part about each episode is when Launchpad shows up. But if he can get more dialogue and lines and screen time doing Darkwing Duck, I'm totally down for that. I think Della provides great comic relief and can take that place on DuckTales. And I it's not like Launchpad can't go back and visit. He's got to visit Dewey all the time, so I don't think it'll be that much of a loss of screen time for him to go to the other show if there is one.
Yeah, he could be gone and on another show and still show up just as often as he already does. I mean, he's not on the show all that much, and that's one of the things about such a large cast, having so many different characters on the show. You've got to give time to, you got to give a portion of time to everybody, and they try to balance that. There's just so many characters. So, yeah, Darkwing would definitely give us more Launchpad.
Yeah, and a Twitter follower of ours, @QueenieDraws, she does great comic work. She's also a Delpad enthusiast with that relationship. And she did a comic that feels like it could happen. And that is maybe that's the origin of where Launchpad gets his pilot goggles from, is maybe Della will give hers to him as he leaves for Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, his current design, he's either got a baseball cap or the chauffeur's hat. So it'd be nice to see the goggles. And she did, her drawing of him with the goggles look spot on. It's exactly what I would expect.
Yeah, I can't wait for that character design, because I don't see him as being Drake Mallard's chauffeur. I see a great buddy relationship there, and they're going to be equal. So I feel like that is very possible where he could get his goggles from.
Mm-hmm. So what we're saying, Nick, is we also awkwardly love DuckTales.
Almost too awkwardly.
Yeah. So love the email. Thank you for sending it in to us and for listening and all the kind things that you said. If one of our listeners would like to send us an email, we have people send us questions, and we're constantly asked about Fat Mojo. Yeah, we know spring is ticking. It's almost over, and we've not seen those characters on shelves yet. We've been told they're coming, and there may have been some pictures on the internet recently showing off some figures from someone who actually visited Fat Mojo. But if you'd like to send us an email, you can send that to ducktalkspod@gmail.com. Either Pirate or I will answer it, typically. We man the email address, and sometimes it makes it onto the episode. If you don't want your email read on the episode, make sure you tell us that in the email. We've had people request that, so that's the rule. Let's jump into some news, because there's a ton of it. I think the first news item is the item we couldn't get to before because of our vacations and everything. And then we had our roundtable discussion in episode 69. So we didn't get an opportunity to talk about the fact that Donald Duck's 85th anniversary is the month of June. June 9th, 1934 was the debut of Donald Duck in The Wise Old Hen.
So classic. It's just as good as Steamboat Willie.
It's a great cartoon. Donald has always been one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Disney character up until the Disney Afternoon, because I think things really changed then. But I've still always had this love for the character. We were talking about it. We started a chat with some of our friends when we started planning the episode 69. And so today the topic of discussion has been Donald Duck orange juice. And that's there's a reason for that. It's because there's a product being released based on it for his 85th anniversary. But yeah, there's so many great moments in his history. The character's got such a rich history. I mean, he carried Disney for a number of years.
Yeah, and I think the anniversary should be looked at as important as Mickey's 90th, which I think we're still celebrating that. That was back in November. But yeah, I expect they didn't really pile it on with the merchandise on June 9th. A couple things were released, but I expect we'll still be celebrating a few more months and hopefully get some more products. We need a new Donald Duck Funko Pop and maybe even a series of different Donald Ducks. Don't you agree?
No, I do not want a series of Donald Ducks. I do. I'm lying. I just don't want to pay for them. But yeah, I absolutely 100% agree. We need a redesign of the Donald Duck, just like the classic pop. But I would love to have the various versions. And speaking of which, I don't know if you've ever watched these. Dave Lee Down Under, his YouTube channel, he does some great evolution of characters for the Disney characters. He's done Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, everybody, Pluto, and his Donald video is really great. I'll include a link to that in the notes. I was a little disappointed with the rollout of the merchandise. I mean, I realize it's not his 90th anniversary, and maybe there'll be a huge rollout for the 90th. But when I started seeing stuff from Japan, because they get all the good merchandise, I was really disappointed when I walked into my Disney store on the 9th, and I had my Donald t-shirt on. I'm like, I'm here to party. And there was absolutely nothing Donald going on. The only 85th anniversary item that I saw in our store was a stationery book. It was a book and it had notepads.
Yeah, but by the time Donald hits 90, 95 will be the new big thing.
Oh, man.
We celebrate Mickey's 95th.
So you're saying it's all about the mouse?
I think it is for now.
I'll have to put that Donald frustration wave file in right here.
Yeah. I mean, just save the money for the next big Donald thing or release. I'm sure it'll be coming soon. D23 did announce today some new merchandise offerings they're going to have for D23 Expo. And as part of that is going to be the Disney Legacy Collection, which that part is extremely limited edition merchandise, but it celebrates different anniversaries that happen for whatever year the D23 event is. And one of the items is going to be Donald Duck's 85th that they're going to be celebrating. So there's going to be hats, shirts, plush, pins, you name it. So at least we know we'll be getting some cool stuff there, even though we're not going to the event, so we're not going to be able to get hands on it. But for people that are going to be there that are excited and go to those events specifically for the merch, they're going to probably find some cool Donald Duck 85th stuff there.
Now, will any of those items eventually show up online? Like, does D23 sell it? I mean, I know it'll end up on eBay.
Yeah, you're going to have to find a friend going or eBay it, unfortunately. Yeah. That stuff. Sometimes there'll be a introduce first available at the at the event, but the limited edition stuff is going to fly. We saw pictures of and you mentioned it before, Donald Duck orange juice can, and it's going to be a plush that's inside that to celebrate Donald's 85th anniversary. So that is going to be one of the hot items, and it was a limited edition of 300.
300. That's
300.
Crazy.
$35. We don't know what the plush looks like, but we all like that can, the classic can, original Donald orange juice can.
We do know a few things about this. I'm looking at some specs saying that its personality is 60% temperamental, 25% prankster, and 15% tenacious. I think it's funny. There's Donald Duck facts on the back of the can, and it's made to look like nutritional facts, but $35. Wow, I bet this thing goes for like $3,000 when it gets on eBay.
Right, sure.
For
and
$300.
I've seen people that do that. They people who go to the event and they buy the limited edition stuff, and that pays for their whole trip.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, if you're willing to wait, I don't know how long the lines are at an event like that. I've only ever followed Celebration.
Oh, they're crazy. They're crazy. I've been to almost every. I think I missed one D23 Expo. And yeah, you're going to sit in a line. You just got to pick which one line you want to sit in.
Well, it's a lot of fun celebrating Donald's 85th. I mean, we had some fun online with people watching everyone else. There was a lot of great artists doing fan art, and that was cool. One of the discussions that we kind of had online, do you call it anniversary or do you call it birthday?
Birthday.
Birthday? Okay. Because Donald has a in-story birthday that's not June. In the Three Caballeros, his birthday was said to be March 13th. Or no, in Three Cabs, it's Friday the 13th. And it's believed to be March 13th, and that's why his car's 313.
Right.
So, I mean, there's an in-story birthday, and then there's the creation. So I've always leaned towards anniversary. And that's why there's some confusion, because I started seeing those tweets pop up about, wait a minute, what about this and what about that? And so this past week, we also found out about a new series coming to Disney Plus, and one that may not be coming to Disney Plus. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's a funny story. Anyway, but we found out that there's a new Chip and Dale series coming to Disney Plus. Now, this isn't directly tied into DuckTales, and it isn't a Disney afternoon property, because these are more like those traditional Chip and Dale shorts. It's going to be, a lot of slapstick, a lot of gags. It's Chip and Dale trying to live in the city, but probably in a park adjacent to the city. And I like it. I think it looks good. I know a lot of people have, you know how it is. Every time a new cartoon is announced, or a new animated show is announced, everybody draws a line and starts saying, oh, it looks horrible, or, hey, I love it. And I'm on the I love it side. I think it's fun. I don't mind updating characters.
Yeah, I love the current Mickey Mouse cartoon series. We're huge fans in our house, watch every single one of them. Mm-hmm. For this Chip and Dale one, they could easily throw Easter eggs for Rescue Rangers, or have an episode where they wear the Rescue Ranger outfits, or maybe Gadget shows up, or Monterey Jack. It's totally doable, and I think it's great that they are doing this series. It's also could gauge interest in a Rescue Rangers reboot as well. But this could also be why the Chipmunks have never been on DuckTales yet.
It could be. And we've also got this news to talk about the fact that weeks ago, when we didn't have time to talk about it, the director was announced for the Rescue Rangers, the live-action Rescue Rangers movie. So that could be connected as well. I was trying to look on social media. I know that when we posted our blog about this, it was liked by Daniel Ross. You pointed this out to me. You want to tell people why that might be significant? I mean, just so we can get people's hopes up.
Yeah, and kind of like a little Easter egg that we think.
Yeah.
Daniel Ross, who does the voice of Donald Duck in Mickey's Roadster Racers, randomly liked our post about the new Chip and Dale series. So who knows? Maybe Donald will show up in the series and maybe he does the voice for it. Who knows?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, there's so many of those shorts that involve Donald and Chip and Dale. So, I mean, I could see it happening. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe we're just hoping. We were excited to see it. It's possible. I think it'll be cool. We want more Donald, of course. But I think this series is going to be fun. I know it's being made in London and in Paris, and the studios are well known for some of their work. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to come out for Disney Plus. I'm trying to pull up my notes again to see when it's supposed to debut. I don't know that it said that it was coming out in November, did it?
I don't know specifically when it's come out. I know they talked about that one in the Monsters Inc. show.
Yeah, and we do know that there will be 39 7-minute episodes, which is kind of strange for a streaming service, I think, because I mean I get Disney currently does short 4-minute, 2-minute type segments in between episodes, but when you're streaming a show, you don't get breaks in between. So I wonder if these will be packaged, to where you get, 3 of the 7-minute cartoons per selection. Or if maybe they'll be a la carte. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we'll get a lot more Disney Plus information from the D23 Expo. I know there's a specific panel that is going to be dedicated towards Disney Plus, and I'm sure a lot of the shows that we've heard about or maybe haven't heard about yet will be announced and talked about in more detail there.
Or maybe we heard about them and they took it away.
Right?
That'll move right into our next topic. Legend of the Three Caballeros was announced for Disney Plus in November, but now it's not.
Then they took it away.
They took it away.
So we don't know what's real or not.
And that's been the case with this show from day one. I remember waking up one morning, checking on Twitter and seeing there's this whole show that was made and nobody knew about it, and it's airing in the Philippines. Like, what?
Yeah, and you almost feel like, is it real? Because why would we have not heard about it? Yeah, it was real. Really good, too. And Disney hasn't really made much reference or talked about it outside of that Philippines Disney Life app. I know the Disney Life is available other places as well, but that is where they chose to debut the Legend of the Three Caballeros. Mm-hmm. And it also was in Southeast Asia on the Disney Channel earlier this year.
Yes.
But we don't live in Southeast Asia, and I know that once this got word about this on the internet, it just blew up, and Three Caballeros fever hit Twitter and all the social media accounts, and man, are people thirsting for some Three Caballeros, and that's why it was great to see them in DuckTales this year. But we don't know when we're going to get this show on Disney Plus, and it's so funny because D23.com started talking about greatest Donald moments, and they did list Legend of the Three Caballeros as one of them. It was towards the end of his top 10 moments, but it was on there. And it's great taking a screenshot of that and knowing that it said that the show was going to debut on November 12th. And just so happened to check it later this week, and they took that whole line of the paragraph out. So
yeah, they left the part about the show and describing the show, but they took out the part about it being on Disney Plus on November 12th.
Yeah, and then we saw people in response to maybe the blog we had, or maybe they saw the D23 website and saw that it was confirmed to be November 12th. We saw people that worked on the show confirm that and retweet it. I don't know if they were just going off D23 or if they knew for a fact that November 12th is when it's going to debut on Disney Plus. But like I said, D23 Expo, I'm hoping to hear more about this show officially.
Yeah, and that's probably what happened, right? I mean, someone put it in the article and then they realized, oh, wait, that was going to be a big deal, a big unveiling at D23, so they took that line out.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where they need to get it out there because so many people have heard about it. They're not going to really care as much. It's not going to be the big bang that they think it's going to be as far as the announcement goes. They need to get it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, people are excited about it, and it's funny that it's had this rocky, crazy start because, I mean, by all accounts, it's a great show. The animation, what we've seen looks amazing, and we have spoken with some people who worked on it because it has been confirmed, it has been made, and it has aired, and people who worked on it are very proud of it and can't wait for it to air in the U.S. So, and they're looking forward to talking about it once it comes out in the U.S.
Yeah, we've got guests lined up to be on our show to talk about Legend of the Three Caballeros, and we can't book them and give them a date yet of being on the show because we don't know when they will officially be able to talk about it in detail. So look forward to that when it's officially announced. But we just want it announced. Come on, give us something.
Well, we don't have long to wait for D23, right?
Yeah, late August 23rd through the 25th. So it's coming up. And who knows, San Diego Comic-Con is also this summer in July. So maybe something is announced. I doubt it. It's most likely going to be D23 Expo. But
sounds like everybody's moving away from Comic-Con.
Yeah, we don't know if there's going to be a DuckTales panel. Mm-hmm. There has been the last 2 years, so we'll see.
Well, the other bit of news we already talked about was the Rescue Ranger live-action movie. We've talked about this a few times on the podcast. I've been pretty excited about this. I know whenever we post about it, we get a lot of hate about the project. Not towards us, but about the project. There's a lot of people that just don't want to talk about a live-action Rescue Rangers, but I think it's because they're not considering Disney doing a live-action Rescue Rangers movie.
Well, I think they've seen some of the other live-action ones that have come out.
Yeah,
some good, some bad, and people want. Some people might want to see it be brought back as animation, full animation.
And I'd be on board with that too.
Yeah, of course we would, but it could be really funny, and I would love to see it done.
Yeah, the release was a little worrisome, though. I know a lot of people had a wait, what moment. So the news was that Akiva Schaffer has been announced as the new director for the live-action movie. And he was involved with Hot Rod and I think Saturday Night Live. I'm not a follower of his work, but it's stuff that I'm familiar with, and I know a lot of people. He's got like a big following.
Yeah, he's part of the Lonely Island band. And everything they do to me, that's kind of my stupid humor. I think they're hilarious. And with them doing their songs, I would love to see the Rescue Rangers theme song done by Lonely Island. I think that'd be fun.
In the article that this was first announced in, it was said that the Rescue Rangers will not be running a detective agency, and that the movie will be very meta and self-referential. So we don't really know what to do with that. We'll see. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what that means.
We'll have to wait and see. We don't know what year it's going to come out, right?
Correct. Yeah, they've been working on it for a while, and we don't know how it'll be distributed either. Whether this will be, this could be a movie that shows up in theaters. I actually doubt it. I think it's probably been pushed and greenlit because they've been working on it for a number of years. I think it's actually got the green light, and because of the push for the streaming service, we got to get content.
More about it. We know more about it than Legend of the Three Caballeros.
Right? Well, they've not taken anything back that they've said.
Sure, right?
All right, well, that's going to do it for news. Let's talk about some merchandise. We've already gotten into some of it. D23, was there anything else for D23 we wanted to talk about?
No, we're trying to get media passes to go. There's less than a 1% chance of that happening. But if we do, we look forward to seeing you there. If you're going, save your money. If you've never been there before, save some money. You're going to want to buy everything and get ready. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to hear all the news from it because there's that great animation panel where you get to find out everything that's coming out. It's probably going to be heavily Frozen 2 oriented this go around. In fact, I feel like the last go round was too because Kristen Bell and Josh Gad were there. But yeah, and then they'll have the live action panel where you'll hear more about Star Wars and you'll hear what the next direction in the Marvel movies will go. So totally a blast. I recommend it, fully recommend it for everybody to go out there and get some more news.
How many days is D23?
It's 3. It's 3 this year. Sometimes it's 4. Sometimes it's 3.
Okay.
But it's going to run a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Let us know if you pick up any merchandise for sure. Let's see. Also in Duck merch, this news came to us from our buddy Eric Rovtar. He got a notification that the Disney Afternoon, The Making of a Television Renaissance by Jake S. Friedman. Jake was on our podcast. I can't remember what episode number it was. I should have probably looked that up. But we talked about his book. It was a great episode. Recommend that you look that up. It's in the title. His name's in the title. But his book about the making of the Disney Afternoon, it's been pushed back. And this is actually the second time it's been pushed back because it was originally coming out in October. And I think it got pushed back a month. And now it's been pushed back to January 7th. No word yet on why it has been pushed back. We have reached out, and we expect to get some news on it. I think it's just a publisher thing. I mean, the book was written along, it's been done and everything. I don't think that there's anything Jake has done that has changed. I kind of got excited thinking maybe there were some changes to the book or maybe there was some stuff they need to wait on to release, but I think it's just published.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know why it's got, like you said, we don't know why it was moved. It was originally October 15th, which is the same day as Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. Volume 2 comes out. So it was already going to be an expensive day anyway. Right. So I didn't really mind it. Then they moved it to like Black Friday week, which doesn't make any sense. And now it's January 7th. One good plus, if that's the date that stands, is that during Black Friday, there's always like a $5 off Amazon coupon that's put out there. So you can use that towards the book if there's any plus with it getting, any positive with it getting moved back.
Of course, Amazon gives you the best price as well, so you can always pre-order that. Can you assign a coupon after you pre-ordered something?
No.
Okay.
You might as well, at that point, you might as well cancel and rebook it.
Okay. We'll keep our eye out on that. That's definitely a book we're interested in, and we'll be talking about. Also in Duck merch, we have Goof Troop and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers released on DVD for the first time. No, I'm kidding. Not released on DVD for the first time. Sorry. These are volumes 1 and 2 of both of those series. So these are the DVDs that had previously been released many, many years ago and have been in circulation for a while. They're being repackaged as 2-packs, similar to how DuckTales' first 3 volumes and the movie got packaged together, and even some of the font and graphics and stuff looks similar to that whole design. But the good news here is that these 2-packs can be found for, I think we saw them on Amazon for like $12.99 or $13.99, and then they're in stores for $15.
Yeah, according to Amazon and Best Buy, I think their retail price is $19.99, but most places will have them under $15, $12.99, $13.99. I think they're really affordable and they're great. They're not going to include all of the episodes from the series. I think like they're missing Rescue Rangers was missing like 15 or 16 episodes, and Goof Troop was missing several episodes as well. But for $12.99, I mean, I remember when these DVDs were first released, and that's when DVDs packages for like cartoons and series were like $30 for a volume. And that's what I probably paid somewhere between $20 and $30 for each volume. And now you can get a package deal for $12.99 of everything that's come out. So a great bargain if you don't have them. Goof Troop is going to be on Disney Plus at launch, all the episodes. We haven't heard about Rescue Rangers yet, but eventually I'm sure it will be on Disney Plus as well. But I know a lot of people like to have the physical media as well. So if you have $12.99, you can't find any worse way to spend it than to get these DVDs, I feel.
Yeah, and we've seen them Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon. Did you come across them anywhere else? That
Target has them now.
Cool.
And the makes me think, when is the Darkwing Duck collection going to be released? Because they're probably going to do that. Darkwing had his own volumes, and so did Tailspin. So those, I'm sure, are in the waiting as well for release.
All right, let's take a look at some exciting news. This is something we've all been sweating about for a few months now, ever since April. But let's see, May 29th, we got the confirmation that DuckTales will return to IDW Comics in the month of August. Things have changed. We've been talking about it. I think it was funny. We were talking about it, the episode that came out, the week that this news came out, had me, we were discussing what they could do, what they might be looking at doing, about changing it up, getting new numbering, and that's exactly what's happened. The comic is going to be released in a different format. It's still going to be single issues, but they're going to be miniseries, and it looks like they're like 3-issue miniseries, and very loosely connected. I don't see anything in the descriptions about this being like stories with a part 1 through 3. It really just seems like it's the same style comic, but released with an issue 1 through 3.
Yeah, I think the theme is just going to be consistent. I don't think it's going to be three issues connected to each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm expecting. The first miniseries that comes is called Silence and Science. In the description, I'm just going to go ahead and read it. All Donald Duck wants to do is take a nice, long, uninterrupted nap. That sounds familiar. But there are too many distractions and just too much noise at McDuck Manor for him to do so. But then Donald remembers and gets stuck in the Spear of Selene and ends up on the moon. No, that's not it. Hold on. But then Donald remembers a magical artifact that cancels out all noise. Once he uses it, he can finally take a nap. There's only one problem. It's not only silent in McDuck Manor, it's silent all over the world. Will anyone be able to talk ever again? Discover for yourself, and Silence is Golden. The first of 2 brand new miniseries wrapping up the DuckTales comics for 2019. So, this is Silence. I guess the next issue will be Science, and I don't know what the third issue will be because the title of this just has the 2. But I found it interesting that this is going to finish out 2019. So this is August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 issues. So maybe this is 3-parter and the next one's a 2. I don't know.
Or it'll be 3 and then a hiatus, and then the rest will be released next year.
Yeah. Yeah, it just says the first of 2 brand new miniseries. So I guess the other... is it really a miniseries if it's 2 issues? Isn't that just like a 2-parter? Anyway, we're excited to see the comic back. We love the comic. We've been reading it from the beginning. And I think, we both, Josh as well, we've talked about this. We grew up reading comics. We love comics. We still collect comics. I went to my local comic book store today because I realized it was Thursday. And we want to see the medium continue. And how does the medium continue? It continues by getting new readers. I'm pretty passionate about making sure kids get an opportunity to read these comics as well. So we're huge proponents of, this comic and getting people to share it. I think it's a great opportunity. These miniseries, that's 3 issues. Grab them and give them to somebody that's in your life. I think it's a good gift. And I'm glad to see it back. I know a lot of people are glad to see it back.
Each issue feels like an episode of the show, so it just extends the entertainment and storyline of the DuckTales world.
And I do feel like they just keep getting better. The stories have gotten more detailed. They've gotten longer because they used to be shorter stories. And it's a book that I look forward to reading, and it's a lot of fun. And we've learned a lot about the characters through the book. So if you've not picked them up yet, August is a good time. If you don't buy comic books currently, If you plan on getting physical copies, you need to let your local comic book shop dealer know generally a couple months ahead. That's when they order. So right now would be a good time to tell them you're looking for DuckTales. All right, here's our final item for the night. Entertainment Earth's exclusive Scrooge Pop was delayed. Was supposed to be released in May, however, was pushed back to June, and as of the recording of this episode, my pop is on its way. Looking at it right now, it says that it should be here on June the 18th, so just past Father's Day. Missed it by that much. But we're excited to get this pop. It's the red coat Scrooge. We've been looking forward to this, and of course, it has the current DuckTales series logo on it, even though the Scrooge doesn't exactly match up with the current Scrooge, but it's still a fun figure and a great exclusive.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it. I want to see what the box looks like. Sometimes they have clues to what might be coming down the pipeline on the back, so I'm hoping it's more than just the DuckTales logo on the back. I'm hoping we see some other characters from the 2017 version.
Yeah, I need a whole new DuckTales collection.
Where are you going to put it?
I don't know. I already need another bat display.
You need it.
What was that?
I said you don't know where you're going to put it, but you need it.
Exactly. I gotta have it. I'm going to have to build onto the new house.
Yeah, one day you have a place to put it, so you need it.
Yeah. There's a shed out back. I think I'm going to convert it into a DuckTales.
Right?
Disney afternoon shrine.
I could see you telling that to Susie and her going, wait, what?
Well, we have honestly talked about turning it into like a little studio type thing. Anyway, we digress. It will be where DuckTalks will take place.
Right?
That's going to be it for this week. Thanks for joining us. We hope you subscribe to our podcast. Check us out online, ducktalks.com. Man, the blog's been doing amazing. We've already surpassed the amount of traffic that we had in all of 2018. Thank you all so much for coming back to the website and checking out our articles and our blogs, and for the feedback and for the conversation online on Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram, if I ever get the hang of doing that. Thanks for everything. We really appreciate it, and it's really fueling our passion for these characters and this podcast, and keeps us connected with all of you. It's been awesome. So thank you for that. I think I named off all of our social media places. You can also email us. We said it earlier, ducktalkspod@gmail.com. You can also check us out individually on Twitter. I am at Infinirama616.
And I'm at The Pirate Steven.
We didn't even introduce ourselves this week. My name is Mitch, by the way. Oh, we're back. See you next week.
Stay glum, Golden.
Till next time. But I think I digressed. I don't remember what I was saying.
It was good.
It was
whatever you're saying. It was right on point.
No, seriously, how did I get onto Fat Mojo? People sending us emails. Okay, yeah. I can bring that back. Okay, I was like, how did I get there? But yeah, there's. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, because each episode. Rewind.
I do that all the time. Thanks for joining us again this week. And I don't know what I'm doing.
It's been a while since you've recorded a show.
It has been a while. I'm really out of practice. I was thinking about that on Monday. I was super hyped about recording on Monday, and things happened. Wasn't able to. And then today I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe we put it off. And you're like, no, we got to go. Anyway, we're ending this thing.